Welcome back with another lesson on self-defense today. We are going to go over fury of punches. And what do I mean by that is if your attacker is simply just wailing punches on you. They could be haymaker, straight punches, uppercuts, whatever it is, they're throwing punches at you nonstop. Now, when it comes to street fighting, you never know the experience of what this person's going to be, but you can tell kind of their background based on how they initially start the attack. Now, if the person's hands are up like they're a boxer and they're throwing nice, clean-cut punches, then you understand that this person has some striking experience. However, if this person comes out of the gate just swinging for the fences, you understand that, okay, they may have had some street fights, but in regards to martial arts training, that's slim to none. So in those situations, it's a little bit easier for us to engage with the fury of punches if this person's just kind of throwing haymakers, wide punches, fast punches, hard punches, but they're not clean, crisp like that was if they were a boxer. So how do we deal with that in situations? Now, understand that the more experience that I have can also kind of differentiate how I want to handle the situation. If I'm extremely experienced and I know how to protect myself very well, if they are throwing punches, I can try and block the punches and work my way around the punches a little bit and hopefully maybe throw in some counters. But at the end of the day, it's hard if they're really just throwing a lot of punches for me to constantly be able to keep track of all those, and if I miss one and I get hit, the fight's over. Okay, so a better option is to kind of combine a couple different styles of defense. Now, if you understand boxers and Thai boxers, a lot of times will kind of protect their ears a little bit to answer, essentially like they're answering the phone, absorb the impact of the punch, and you're safe. Wing Chun kind of does something similar, only the difference is they a lot of times like to use their elbows and have the elbows actually pointed towards their attacker, with the chances that if the attacker's not paying attention, they may actually punch my elbow, which in turn is actually going to injure their hand a lot more than it's going to hurt me. So we're going to kind of combine those situations initially to deal with the punches, and then we're going to use that to get close to our attacker and eventually break through the punches. So what does it look like if we're blocking? The idea is this. I never want to back away. I never want to be kind of backing away because now I'm letting this person dictate the fight. So no matter how fast and hard the punches are coming, I want to make sure that I'm progressing forward even if it's at a slow pace, because the more I progress forward, I'm dictating the fight at this point. If this person is now having to back up, he is now gone from being the attacker to essentially having to defend himself, and he doesn't even realize it yet. So as he's throwing these punches and I'm protecting myself, understand that I can't just keep my hands straight in front. I can't keep my hands here. They're going to have to kind of adjust and change as this person's throwing punches. But the point is, I have to make sure that my head is protected at all times. So if I turn my head sideways, I have to make sure I have something protecting my head. If I'm looking at him onwards, I have to make sure that I have my hands protected onwards. But understand that I'm not just keeping my hands up, because anytime he makes contact with that, it's coming right back into my head. So I'm essentially grabbing wherever I'm protecting, I'm also scooping my own head so that when he does hit it, it just moves my whole body instead of just my head and neck. So again, it's reducing my chances of getting hurt in the first place. So as he throws these punches, I'm merely just blocking, again, and I'm slowly progressing forward. Again, if I turn, I'm also making sure that I keep everything nice and tight. Now understand that if they start throwing stuff towards the body, I'm either going to have to absorb it or kind of tuck a little bit and eat the punch a little bit towards my side or the side of my arm. But I don't want to risk dropping this all the way to block a punch, because if he throws it back where I just moved, I'm in trouble. So this is the more vital area. I will take the pain and the body shots, but I'm going to make sure that I'm continuously progressing forward. So what does this allow me to do? When I'm protecting these punches, I'm able to slowly start getting closer and closer to this person. Now, at the same time, because my hands are here, as he's punching, if you notice, as these punches are coming, notice that my hands are essentially on the inside, which means it's easy for me to explode outwards and get control of the person. Whereas if I'm blocking from the outside in, it may be hard for me to get close to the person because these punches are going to constantly be coming. But when I can fight them from the inside out, I have the ability to completely stop these punches, right? So when you feel that you have the opportunity, and again, I'm always making sure I make contact with this person, even if I'm looking down, I need to make sure I have eyes on him so I know where he is at all times, but I'm slowly working myself closer and closer and closer until I feel the time is right. Now, how do we engage from there? I can either simply just bring my arms out and stop the punches altogether, or I can kind of just shoot through that and grab the person. Either way, I'm trying to get into the clinch here. Now, we've talked in the past about how I always kind of like to avoid the clinch in some situations. This is opposite. This is one where I need to get into the clinch, but I'm not going to stay there. I'm just using that again to stall his ability to attack me. So he's throwing the punches. When the time is right, I just get in. Whatever I grab, I grab. If I get sucked to one side, that's fine. If I scoop the head, that's fine. Both arms, under the arms, whatever I make contact with, that's what I'm going with initially. But the idea is I'm getting into this clinch. Now from here, I'm going to make sure I suck myself in, I grab on nice and tight, and I'm not letting go right away. I want to make sure that these punches have completely stopped. understand that most attackers, when we engage in the clinch initially, he is now also going to engage in the clinch, and we're going to kind of get into this wrestling position a little bit. If he starts throwing strikes again, all I need to make sure I do is I start throwing my strikes a little bit harder and a little bit faster. So understand that when I get into the clinch, ideally you're stalling those punches for a split second. Once that second has passed, I have to now engage in strikes, and the idea is that I'm using those strikes and then I'm getting away right away. I'm getting in here, I've got the clinch, strike to the groin if I need to, strike down to the foot if I need to, strike the knees if I need to, headbutt the person if you're able to, start throwing elbows, and again, as I start breaking away from the person, my strikes start becoming, instead of these close-knit elbows and knees, start becoming more heel palms, gut punches, longer kicks, bigger kicks. Now I've completely disengaged from this fight. This person's probably in a lot of pain. They're not looking to throw punches at me. Now I can keep my distance, and now is the time that I can back away and say, hey, cool it, the fight's over. Whereas before, if he's just throwing punches and I'm just backing away, this isn't going to look good for me. So again, he's throwing punches, he just starts wailing on him, I get in close, I tie up in the clinch, start throwing strikes, elbows, kick, and again, I break that distance. So understand with the fury of punches, yes, it is scary, punches are coming at you fast, they're coming at you hard. The key, protect yourself. Try and keep your elbows protected around your head. If you can, have your elbows pointed towards your attacker a little bit, again, for the chance that they nick their elbow with your hand, they're going to damage your hand. Again, better for me if they have a broken hand, they can't punch me as well. But again, you're using that blocking system to get nice and close to your attacker. When the time is right, shoot through all the punches, clinch up with your attacker, throw in some hard strikes, break away, get away safely, stay safe.